Hey, what's up everybody? In this video, we're going to take a look at the second pickup capsule, and it's also going to be the final pickup capsule for the month of September. You'll have until September 26, 11:59 Pacific Standard Time to get one of these Tsums if you are trying to get them. And if you're able to get all 15, the last prize will be a skill ticket, but let's take a look at the Tsums. The first one, we have Officer Judy, next we have Zazu, Pirate Mickey, Fred, Elizabeth Swann, Elsa, and Cruella De Vil. So what's interesting is we actually have 7 Tsums in this pickup capsule. We usually only have 6, but for this instance we do have 7. And also what's interesting is also we have Fred in here. Fred does max out at, actually no, not Fred, Zazu. Zazu is the one that will max out at skill level 3. So once you get Zazu, 3 or 4 copies of Zazu, I think 3 actually, you will essentially max out Zazu. So very easy Tsum to max out, but unfortunately Zazu is not that great. And so for my top 3 in this pickup capsule, it's going to be Cruella De Vil, Elsa, and Officer Judy. And actually Fred is pretty good too. But anyways, let's take a look at all of these Tsums individually, and then you could decide which one to get. The first one, we have Officer Judy. And the reason why I like Officer Judy is her ability is really easy to use. The ability description for Officer Judy is she clears all the Tsums in the center, and it's essentially just a burst Tsum that will blast the center area. I am currently playing her at skill level 3, so the skill range is medium, but as you can see on the screen, the skill range, the blast area is actually pretty big, even for a medium. And she's also a pretty good Tsum to use to get a lot of coins, depending on what skill level you could get her at. And the one cool thing about Officer Judy is that the ability is relatively easy to use, and there's really not a lot of planning involved. One of the strategy to using Officer Judy is just really you want to make sure the center area has a lot of Tsums. And you want to use her ability during fever time, because during fever time the Tsums does drop a lot quicker. Essentially that's the only strategy that you have to use when you're using Officer Judy. At the end of this gameplay, I did get 1,808 coins, so that's pretty good for a skill level 3 Tsum. I bet that if I could get Officer Judy to a skill level 6, definitely going to be viable for coin earning. Next we have Zazu from The Lion King, and the ability description is Zazu will clear a horizontal line of Tsum Tsum. This demonstration for Zazu is a skill level 2 demonstration, and the skill range is going to be small. Unfortunately, Zazu does max out at skill level 3. Even at skill level 3, the skill range is only going to be medium, so really not going to be that great of a Tsum. And essentially, you just saw the demonstration there. What Zazu does is Zazu will fly around the screen and clear a bunch of Tsums on the screen in a, I guess you could say, horizontal line. The areas that Zazu will clear are all different areas, so they're not going to be in the same spot, so there's really no planning for this. Really, it's just like any other gameplay, just make sure the screen is full of Tsums, so that way when Zazu does fly around or fly by, it'll clear a bunch of Tsum. Zazu is really just going to be a collector Tsum, honestly. You wouldn't be using Zazu for anything really. Not great for combos, not that great for score, and not great for coins either. But because Zazu is a limited Tsum, you may want at least 1 copy of Zazu, so this might be a good opportunity to just get 1 copy. At the end of this gameplay, with Zazu at skill level 2, I only got 1,186, so not necessarily that great. So probably could pass on Zazu unless you are a collector. Next, we have Pirate Mickey from Mickey and Friends. And the ability description for Pirate Mickey is he will clear all Tsums in the center. So relatively similar to Officer Judy, the center clear area will be in the middle. And I currently have Pirate Mickey at skill level 4, so the blast radius is going to be large, and I need 17 copies of Pirate Mickey cleared on the screen to activate his ability. One cool thing about this is that the shape of the blast area is in the shape of Mickey. So if you pay close attention to the areas that is actually getting blasted, it's going to be 3 cannon balls. And then the shape that it makes is there's 2 ears and then the face of Mickey. So take a look at it right here. As you see there was Mickey's face right in the center there. So you got to pay a little bit of close attention to really spot it. And one thing to know about Pirate Mickey is as you level up Pirate Mickey, the skill levels I mean, the ranges are going to get bigger. So the blast radius, essentially Mickey will get bigger, the blast area. And also you're going to require less Tsums to activate Pirate Mickey's ability. So the range will get bigger, and then also you can activate a lot more abilities per game, which will increase your coin earning potential. Right now at skill level 4, I got 1,510 coins for this demonstration. I bet if you could get it to skill level 5 or 6, it could be viable. Next we have Fred from Big Hero 6, and the ability description for Fred is clear zoom from the bottom and right of the screen. So Fred's clearing radius is actually pretty cool. Right now I am playing Fred at skill level 3, and the skill range is going to be medium. Check out this fireball from Fred, and it goes from the bottom to the right and then to the top. It's kind of like an L shape. So this is just like the movie. Fred will breathe fire and then clear a bunch of zooms. Well, in the movie he doesn't clear zooms, but he does breathe fire in the movie. So I thought that this ability is really cool, and Fred's jump is pretty cool too. So definitely really enjoy this animation. The clearing area is also pretty good because it's clearing only the sides and the bottom, so it leaves you a lot of room to clear things on the left hand top side. Essentially a lot of the areas don't get blasted by the zooms. So if you play with the gyro on, you might want to tilt your phone to the right a little bit, so that way all the zooms fall to the right. The bottom typically gets filled anyway, so you just want to make sure that it falls to the right side and clears more, and while you're focusing more on the top left hand side to charge up your bar. So that's one way you can optimize using Fred, but honestly for Fred at skill level 3, really not worth it. At the end of this gameplay, I only got 1,170 coins, so not great for coins, but definitely a really fun character to use. Next we have Elizabeth Swann from Pirates of the Caribbean. The ability description for Elizabeth Swann is turn Tsum Tsum into Will Turner Tsum Tsum, and they can be cleared with Elizabeth Swann. So essentially what happens is when you activate Elizabeth Swann's ability, Will Turner shows up on the screen, and then you could essentially match Elizabeth Swann's zooms with Will Turner's zooms. So I'm usually not a fan of these type of abilities because you still have to connect them, and also the time is running at the same time. And I'm typically not very fast at connecting really long chains, so these type of zooms I'm not a fan of. And right now I do have Elizabeth Swann at skill level 5, so it does change 19 copies of random zooms on the screen into Will Turner. So one of the strategies to using Elizabeth Swann is before you activate Elizabeth Swann's ability, you just want to make sure there is a lot of Elizabeth Swann's on the screen already. This will make like the chaining process a lot easier, and the more Elizabeth Swann you have on the screen, the longer your chain's going to be, therefore earning you more coins. At the end of this gameplay at skill level 5, I got 1,466 coins, so not necessarily amazing, but still pretty decent I guess for one of these zooms where you have to connect a really long chain. Next we have Elsa from Frozen. Elsa's ability description is clears Frozen Disney Tsum Tsum with her magic. So I currently have Elsa at skill level 6, and the skill range is going to be extra large. Elsa is actually one of my favorite characters from this game, and Elsa is really useful. Elsa didn't get promoted in this pickup capsule, but I definitely think that they should have, because Elsa is really great for chains, and just getting really long chains is Elsa's kind of forte. And one of the strategies to using Elsa is you want to clear as much Elsa as possible and then chain it all up, because you could clear all of these frozen blocks at once, and that is considered one chain. So as you saw right there, I got a chain of 43, but you do need to strategize a little bit and save it all up and pop it when they're both fully charged up. You could, if you are going for score and going for coins, then this is not the most optimal way, but I wanted to just do this demonstration to show you guys that if you want to get a really long chain, Elsa is a really good zoom for that. Sometimes you get those missions where you have to connect a really long chain. This is the zoom that you want to use to connect long chains, or one of them. It's not the only one, but this is one viable zoom to get to connect long chains. And I do want to show you right here, because I did clear out the entire screen and got a maximum of 45. So 45 is definitely possible. If you have a big zoom there, it's even better. Now for this demonstration right here, this is a different gameplay now. I was going for coins. So at skill level 6, extra large skill range, at the end of this particular gameplay, I did get 1,781 coins. So not necessarily super amazing, but if you play fast enough, I think that you could definitely get into the 2,000s. There are better zooms for coins. Really, Elsa is there for chains. Alright, and then finally we have Cruella De Vil, and out of all 7 of these zooms, I really like Cruella De Vil for coins. Cruella De Vil is from the 101 Dalmatians, and her ability description is clear Tsum Tsum in the shape of an S. I currently have her at skill level 6 and the skill range is extra large. Essentially the ability description is her driving her little vehicle. Well, I guess you can't really say it's a little, but it's her vehicle and it goes from the top to the bottom and it swerves on the road because maybe it's icy. But if you just follow the like little dog footprints, that's essentially the shape. It's in a shape of an S and clears a bunch of Tsum off the screen. And one cool thing about that is when she clears the Tsums off the screen, all the Cruella De Vils does get added back to the charge bar. So one of the strategies to using Cruella De Vil is you want to make sure and take your time with the ability. You want to make sure everything is settled down and then activate your ability, because doing so you will make sure that you get a max chain and you optimize the chain ability. So you see right here, I'm waiting a little bit to make sure everything's settled and then activating the ability, and there you go, I got 31 chains there. The longer the chain, the more coins you're going to earn, so you definitely want to wait those couple of seconds before activating the ability. See right there, I did also chain in a big Tsum there and I got a chain of 35. So out of all 70 of these Tsums, Cruella De Vil is the best one to earn coins in my opinion. Elsa is going to be great for chains, and then pretty much like Officer Judy is like one really easy one to use. Zazu is a really rare one, so depending on what you're looking for, you have your variety of spectrum, but honestly at the end of the day you really am just going after that skill ticket. So unless you have 450,000 coins saved up, I actually don't recommend you to try to clear this pickup capsule and just save your coins for future Tsums that are coming out. I mean, it is the end of the month, so you definitely want to save a little bit of coins for next month. So that's pretty much it for this video. I hope that you guys found this video helpful in determining if you want to invest in this pickup capsule or not. And if you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to subscribe for more Tsum Tsum content. And as always, thank you so much for watching.